Students, today our class is about classification of material. So already we learnt about the basic things, that is about the electrostatics. Electrostatics means when the charge is at the stationary condition, then we are studying about the charge, that is the electrostatics. When an electron is moving, then when an electron is in motion, then we are studying another ones, that is magnetostatics. And when an electron is passes through one coil, then if there is no touching between those ones, then there exists some induction between them, that is the electromagnetic induction. Okay, so here in the electrostatics, the main charge which is carried by some particle, that particle is considered to be an electron. Okay, so here when we are considering the mass, then that is the gravitational force. When we are considering the force as a charge, then we have to consider that electrostatic force. Okay, so now today we are studying about the classification of a material. So the material which can be classified as a three types. One is conductor, another one is insulator, and another one is semiconductor. And in the modern physics, we also having another conductor, that is the superconductors. Okay, so now what is conductor, what is insulator, what is superconductor? So we learned that what is a conductor. The conductor means the material which allows the charges to move freely. Okay, so the conductor means which allows the charge. Okay, so that can move freely inside it. Okay, so and here we are having so many examples of the conductors. The main examples are, that is metal, which can possess the charges, and another one is insulator. Insulator means a material which does not allow electrons. Okay, so that is which does not allows the charge, or which does not allows the electrons. Okay, so now they are not move freely inside that insulator. Okay, so the examples are, the main examples are wood, plastic, or anything. So that is the plastic and porcelain also act as a insulator. పోర్సలిన్ మీన్స్ మనకి మామూలుగా ఎలక్ట్రిక్ పోల్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా. ఇప్పుడు ఇది ఒక పోల్ అనుకోండి, ఈ పోల్ ఓకే, ఇది ఒక పోల్ అయితే ఇప్పుడు ఈ పోల్కి మన కింద ఎర్తింగ్ ఉంటుంది, అవునా. సో ఇక్కడ మనకి ఇది మన ఇల్లు అయినప్పుడు ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఒక కండక్టర్, ఒక వైర్ని పంపిస్తాం. ఈ వైర్ని ఇప్పుడు ఈ పోల్కి కనెక్ట్ చేస్తాం కదా. అయితే ఇప్పుడు ఛార్జెస్ ఇందులో నుంచి పాస్ అయ్యి ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఛార్జెస్ మళ్ళీ పోల్కి కూడా పాస్ అవుతాయి. పోల్కి పాస్ అవి మళ్ళీ కిందికి వెళ్ళిపోతాయి. ఎప్పుడైనా మనం పోల్ని టచ్ చేస్తే మనకు షాక్ వస్తుంది, కాబట్టి ఈ షాక్ రాకుండా ఇక్కడ మనం ఇన్సులేటర్ని పెడతాం అన్నమాట. ఈ ఇన్సులేటరే అక్కడ మనం పోర్సలిన్ అనే ఇన్సులేటర్ని యూజ్ చేస్తాం, పోర్సలిన్. ఓకే, విచ్ డస్ నాట్ అలో ద చార్జెస్ టు ఫ్లో త్రూ ఇట్. ఓకే, సో కండక్టర్ మీన్స్ అలోస్ ద చార్జ్. ఓకే, సో ద మెయిన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ ఆర్ ద metals. Okay, now semiconductors means some materials which act as a insulator and also conductor. Okay, so those materials which are at the cold condition, then they are act as a insulator, and which are in the hot condition, then they are act as a conductor. Okay, so these are known to be semiconductors. Okay, so the main examples for the semiconductors are germanium and silicon. Okay, so these are the two examples for the semiconductors, and also a conductor and the insulators. Okay, so superconductors also there in the modern physics. The superconductors means there is no resistivity. Super means there is no resistivity. The resistivity becomes zero. Okay, so that is rho tends to 0. Okay, so then conductivity becomes infinite. Okay, so here when we are studying about the conductor, insulator, then we have to study about the resistivity and the conductivity also. Okay, so we have to know about conductivity and resistivity. Okay, so the conductivity means here if there is a conduction, then there should be a insulation ante kada. So if there is a engine, then there should be a brake. Okay, so for any vehicle, if there is a engine, then to control that engine we have to use a brake. Okay, so like that in the materials, if there is a conduction, then to control that conduction, to control that electricity or anything, so we have to give some brake for that one. So that is the resistivity. Okay, so here conductivity means the conducting nature. Okay, the ability of conducting is conductivity, and insulation means here the insulation mainly that is the resistivity mainly described by the dielectric strength. Okay, dielectric strength. Okay, so now here okay, so in these ones, these are the classification of the material. So before this, now we have to know about some mechanism of the that is movement of the electron in the atom. So let us consider, if this is an atom, so here we are having nucleus, that is the nucleus which is having the positiveness. Okay, so as it is a nucleus, then around the nucleus, then the electrons are revolving in an orbits. Okay, so now here is the electron, here is the electron, like this the electrons are revolved around the nucleus. Okay, now as it is a positive charge, if we are separated this nucleus from the atom, then this nucleus having the complete positive charge. If the nucleus having the positive charge, then the remaining electrons which are revolving around the nucleus having the negative charge. Okay, so that means if we are separating the nucleus from the atom, then the nucleus having the positive charge, and remaining particles which are inside the atom or are having the negative charge. Okay, so that means here the total that means the net charge and atom will become zero. The net charge and atom will become zero means, if there is a 10 positive charges, then there exists 10 negative charge. That means the number of electrons must be is equals to the number of negative charges. The number of negative charges must be is equals to number of positive charges. Then only the net charge and the atom will become zero. Okay, so then only the net charge and the atom will becomes zero. Okay, so now see here, if the net charge and the atom will become zero, so then the number of positive charges must be is equals to the number of negative charges. Okay, so now here the negative charge, that means negative charges means electrons, and the positive charge means protons. Okay, so if the number of protons must be is equals to the number of electrons, the net charge and the atom will become zero. Then here the minimum charge on the particle, so that is the net charge and one electron is the minimum charge. Okay, so for one electron, the minimum charge carried by the minimum charge which is carried by the particle, so that is the one electron will carries the minimum charge. Okay, so minimum charge which is carried by the particle in an atom is 1 electron. Okay, so that is the charge. 1 electron charge must be is equals to the 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulombs. Okay, so 1 electron charge is equals to 1.6 into 10 power minus 9 coulombs. Okay, so now here the minimum charge which is carried by the particle inside the atom is 1 electron. Okay, so here the 1 electron charge is equals to 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Okay, so now here we are considered that the net charge on the atom will become zero. Why? Because the number of protons must be is equals to the number of electrons. So the net charge on the atom will become zero means atom will give the molecule. So the net charge and the molecule will become zero. The molecule gives the material, so the net charge and the material will become zero. So materials give some that means some any body, okay, so the net charge on the body will become 0. So that means everything in the universe, the net charge on the universe also becomes 0, okay. So that means if the net charge on the atom will become 0 means the net charge in the universe also, the net charge on the universe will become 0, okay. So net charge on any object in the universe will become 0, okay. Now here the charge which is carried by the particle, that particle is considered to be an electron, okay. Now here in the nucleus we are having so many particles, positron, electron, neutron or anything, okay. So now the charge which is carried by the particle, that particle is considered to be an electron, but there exists the proton or another particles also, but the charge can be transferred, okay. So that means the electron okay, so the charge which is carried by the electron is only responsible for electrification. Already we learnt about this electrification, okay. So the electron is only responsible for the electrification. Why proton is not responsible? Why proton is not in the motion? Because here proton having the maximum mass, that is the proton having the mass that is 1837 times heavier than the electron mass, okay. So here to transfer the charge, so due to the motion of the electron only there is some exchange of charge or anything, okay. So that means here to transfer the charge or to give the charge, to lose the charge, so the electron only carries the charge but the proton does not carry the charge, because the electron having the small mass, it has small mass and the small diameter also, and it has small diameter and the small mass and small size and also a small charge, okay. So that's why it carries the charge and it can transfer the charge, it can give the charge or it can lose the charge, okay. But here the proton not responsible for the electrification. Why? Because it having the maximum mass, that is the greater mass compared to the electron. If electron having some mass, that mass of the electron is equals to 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 kg. This is the mass of the electron, okay. So the proton having the mass, that mass is equals to mass of the proton is equals to 1837 times of the mass of the electron. So that's why as the electron having the smaller mass, it can only responsible for the electrification. Electrification means it can transfer the electrons or it can add the electrons or it can lose the electrons, so it can lose the electrons, okay. Now if so here proton never transfer the electrons or anything, because it having the heavier mass compared to the electron, okay. Now here okay, so that means here electron is okay. So electron only responsible for the electrification. Now here as we know that electron having the mass and the proton also having some mass, okay, but the proton having the greater mass compared to the electron. So that means here we can transfer the electron, okay, we can transfer the charge. So that means here electron, the charge can be added or removed, okay. So the charge can be added or removed means here the charge having some mass, so that means we adding the charge means we giving the mass, we removing the charge means we are decreasing the mass of that material, okay. So here we are having some relation between the charge and the mass, so that is charge and mass relation, okay. So that means gain of the charge, that means it will increase the mass, Okay, so loss of the charge means it will decrease the mass. Okay, so this is the charge and the mass relation. Okay, now here we all learnt about some basic things about the electron, that is the charge, and also we are having some clarity about that, the types, that is the classification of the material. So that is conductor and the insulator and also the superconductor and the semiconductor. Okay, so conductor means which allows the electron, which allows the charges that can be move freely inside the material. Okay, now here we have to know about what is electrostatic induction. Okay, so electrostatic induction we have to know about, that is electrostatic induction. So that means we have to know about electrostatic induction. Okay, so why? Because here we have to create the charge. That means we have to if insulator means what, this is the material. Let us consider this is the one material. Okay, so in this material we are having the number of electrons. There are the one proton, one electron, proton, electron, proton, electron, proton, electron. Okay, so the number of electrons must be is equals to the number of protons. So there is no free charge to move from that atom. Okay, so that's why here we have to create the one free charge, then only the charge can move freely inside the atom. So then that is only responsible for the electrification. Okay, now we have to give some free charge. Okay, so for that here we have to here we are having the two methods. One is by so we can give the electrification by conduction and also by induction. Okay, so that's why you have to know what is induction here. Okay, so induction means, let us consider this is a one atom. So here we are having the positive charge, that is the nucleus, and here there are the electrons which are revolves around the nucleus. Okay, now here as it is a positive charge, this is a negative charge, so there is some interaction, there is some attraction between electron and the nucleus. So that's why here the electron revolves around the nucleus in the particular orbit. Okay, it's okay. Now here I am placing one so already we know that the glass rod considered to be a positive rod and the plastic rod considered to be a negative rod. So now I am placing the positive rod here, so which is having the total positive charges. So as it is a positive charge, so here is the electron. Now here the electron does not attract towards the glass rod, because here there is a strong attraction between the nucleus and the electron. There is a strong attraction between the nucleus and the electron. So that's why the electron does not attract towards the glass rod. If I am increasing the positivity of glass rod, so that means here I am placing the millions of positive charge that is greater than the nucleus. So then the electron may attract towards the glass rod. The electron may attract towards the glass rod and it will be jump from this nucleus. So that means when I am placing the here let us consider this is one electron. Here I am placing the three positive charges. If here three positive charges are there, then this is one electron. Okay, so that's why it will not attract towards these three positive charges. Let us consider here 20 positive charges are there. This electron not attracted towards this positive charge. There exists 100 positive charges, so not attracted. So there is 1000 positive charges are there, but so this electron may attract towards this positive charge, because this positive charge is greater than the nucleus positive charge. So that's why this electron attracted towards this material. Okay, so that means until the 999 positive charge, this electron does not attract towards this glass rod. So that means until there is some opposing force is there. Okay, So that opposing force is that opposing force, that means opposing force means it acts as an insulator, not the conductor. Conductor means it gives us some free electron. Okay, now I want to give some free electron for that atom. So that's why here I am placing the positive charges. But here this electron does not attract towards this positive charge, means it will not move freely. Okay, so that's why freely, that is outside of the atom. So that's why here it acts as an insulator. So that means here there exists some force which is opposing this positive charge. That force is that strength is the dielectric strength. Okay, so here we are getting the dielectric strength. So dielectric strength means what? The maximum force, the maximum strength or force, the maximum strength of the field, the maximum strength of the field, it can withstand అంటే అట్లానే ఉంచడం అన్నమాట. వితౌట్ ఒక కండక్టర్ అవ్వకుండా, వితౌట్ బికమింగ్ ఏ కండక్టర్ అవ్వకుండా అది ఇన్సులేటర్ లాగానే ఉండడానికి సమ్ స్ట్రెంగ్త్ అనేది యూజ్ చేస్తుంది. ఆ మ్యాక్సిమం స్ట్రెంగ్త్ విచ్ ఈస్ డన్ బై దట్ ఎలక్ట్రాన్ ఈస్ నౌన్ టు బి ఎ డైఎలక్ట్రిక్ స్ట్రెంగ్త్. సో విచ్ ఈస్ అపోజింగ్ ద conductive nature. Okay, so that is the dielectric strength. Okay, so now here as there are 1000 positive charges and one electron, so the electron may attract towards this positive charges. So that means it will break down this field, atomic field. So this electron break down this field and it will move towards this one. Okay, so that means here we are getting the breakdown field means the minimum field around the insulator required to conduct some charge through it. Okay, so that means it is ready for the conducting. Okay, so that means it will break the insulation, and ready for the conducting. So that is the field which is break the insulation and it will ready to conduct with the another positive charge. So that is the breakdown field. Dielectric strength means which is opposing the conducting nature, the strength of the maximum strength which is used by the electron in the atom to opposing the conducting nature. So this is about the dielectric strength. So now here we have to know about induction. So induction means without touching the atom we are creating charging the material. Okay, so now here I want to charge the material. Okay, so to charge a body, here we are having the two methods. One is conduction, another one is the induction. Okay, so now conduction, okay, and this is induction. Okay, so here in the atomic case this glass rod does not touch the atom, but here with respect to the positive charge, with respect to the field force only, the electron get attracted towards the positive charge. So that means there is no contact between these two, but even though there exists force between these two, so that is the induction. Okay, without touching there exists the force, that force is the induction. Okay, with that force we can charge the body. Okay, so now here conduction means so the conduction means now we can contact the two bodies and then there exists the then we can charge a body. So now I want to charge one body. Okay, so now for that here I am placing the one spherical ball or anything, so which is having the equal number of positive charges and negative charges, positive charge and the negative charge. So equal number means the net charge will become 0, net charge is 0. So net charge is 0 means it acts as a insulator because there is no free charge, there is no free charge. Okay, so that means there is no charge which is moving freely inside the body. So that's why it acts as a insulator. Now here I am placing the one plastic rod or a glass rod. If we are placing the glass rod means here this is a total one is positive charges. If this is a plastic rod, let us consider this is one plastic rod. Plastic rod means here we are using the negative charges. If it is a glass rod, then we have to use the positive charges. Now here conduction means there is some contact between this ball and this rod or anything. Here we can use another sphere also. Okay, or this is a one insulation. So positive negative positive negative positive negative. Okay, so here we can use another ball, so which is the plastic one, so which is having the only negative charges. Okay, now here there is some contact between those two. Okay, so now I want to charge this body. Okay, now already this is a charged body. Now I want to give some, now I want to give conduction for this body. Okay, so now I want to change the insulator into the conductor. Okay, so that's why as it is a negative charges, so now here, so this is the negative charge, so this is a positive charge. Okay, so now here some positive charges are there, so these negative charges attracted towards these positive charges. Okay, so that's why these negative charges attracted towards the positive charges. Why? Because here all are the negative charges are there, so there is some internal repulsion between the negative. Already we know that positive negative attracts and the negative and the positive will repel. Okay, so like charges will repel, unlike charges will attract. So these are the negative charges, so there exists some internal repulsion between the rod, so that's why here some positive charges are there, so that's why these negative charges are attracted towards the positive charge. Okay, so let us consider here 10 negative charges are there. Okay, so as there are 10 negative charges, so these 10 in the 10 negative charges, let us consider this is a rod, so here 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so here positive negative positive negative positive negative positive negative. Okay, now here only 5 negative charges are there, remaining 5 will indus to the spherical body. Okay, now here these are the negative 5 charge, these are the remaining negative 5 charges, so here only 5 negative charges are transferred to the spherical body, remaining 5 are remains like this only. Why? Because as here we are adding some negative charges means, so there exists some freely charges in the spherical body. Okay, so that's why it will become negative body. Now here this spherical body will become a negative body, so as it is a negative body, so here there are some negative charges are there, so this will repel this will give some repel force for this rod, so that's why here we are getting the result that, so now these are the 5 charges remaining like this, and we are getting some 5 charges on this spherical ball, so and the initial charges, that is the positive negative positive negative positive negative positive negative, or like that only. So that's why here we can do the we can charge the body like this, we can charge the body. Okay, so here this is the plastic rod, so this is the neutral body. So now neutral body means it acts as a insulator, so these are the negative charges means, now as it is a negative charges, so there exists contact means these negative charges will goes through this second body. So that means here as this is a negative charges means here we are getting the positive charges. So let us consider these are the 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 are there. Okay, so these 5 will enters to the this body, so now the remaining negative charges are 1 2 3 4 5, and here this body will get positive negative positive negative positive negative positive negative, and remaining 5 are here, these are the 5 charges. Okay, so now So this body will become a negative body, so that's why it will repel this, it wants to repel this body. So that's why here it can now we are moving these two or some apart, so that's why this becomes a negative only, and this will act as a charged body. So this is a positive negative, positive negative, positive negative, positive negative, and here we are having some negative charges. So this is a free body now. Okay, so now here by the induction also we can charge the body, so we can give the conduction to the neutral body, we can give the conduction to the neutral body. Okay, so now for that here okay, so by the induction, no, so by the induction means, so now this is a one body, so this is also a one body, so here we are, so this is the neutral body, positive negative, positive negative, positive negative, and the positive negative. Okay, so now let us consider a glass rod or the plastic rod, anything. So let us consider plastic rod. Plastic rod means this rod maximum having the negative charge only. Okay, so these are the negative charges which are resides on the surface or anything. Okay, so now as it is a neutral one, as it is a neutral body, it is a plastic one which is having the negative charges. So but there is no contact between those two. Okay, so now here it is a negative body means already we know that the negative charges will attract the positive charges. So that's why as it is a plastic body, so here we are having the negative charges like this, and inside the second body we are getting the positive charges here. These are the positive charges 1 2 3 4, and negative charges will be like this. Okay, so by the induction only, so these are the negative charges, these negative charges attracts the positive charges, so that's why these positive charges will be resides on the surface, and these negative charges will be resides on the surface. Okay, so now there is some attraction force between them, that's why they are resides on the surface only. Okay, so why they are not going out, why they are not going out, why? Because here if these are the negative charges, why they are not going out, why? Because here we are having some air particles, so as these are the air particles, so so this is a neutral body. Okay, so that's why they are not going to this ones. Okay, so here, so now I am placing the I am giving the some earth. Okay, I am giving the earth means here these negative charges are there, so these negative charges will flow through this earth, and they will become zero here. Okay, so that's why here we are getting this is the negative body, and here we are getting only positive charges. Okay, so let us consider these are the 4 charges are here, so here 2 charges will be earth, so here we are getting the another 2 charges, so these are the 2 charges which are neutral, and here we are having the 2 charges which will be in the neutral condition. Okay, sorry, which will be in the free of light. Okay, so we can charge the body by the conduction, and the conduction means we can give some contact between those two. Induction means there is some separation between those two. So in the separation case, these negative charges attract the positive charges, so the positive charges all are resides on the surface, so negative charges will be resides on this side. So now we are giving some earth means here the negative charges flows through this earth, so some negative charges are flows through earth, so here we are creating some free charges inside the body. These free charges will conduct the electricity here, so these free charges, some 5 electrons are there, no, so that free charges will conduct the electricity. Okay, now we are having some properties of the electric charge.